live stream broadcast free. No paywall, no subscription, no credit card required. Championship game between Youngstown, Ohio and Mexico. The team hails from Monterrey, Nuevo León, just south of here. And they will be squaring off against the undefeated Youngstown, Ohio team. Get ready for some great action. We'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back for the first pitch. And here we're ready to go with the 2023 Pony Palomino World Series 18U championship game featuring Youngstown, Ohio versus the team from Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico. Mexico being the home team, Youngstown in the visitor spot. These two teams have had a great tournament. Youngstown won in dramatic fashion. Bottom of the seventh, bases loaded, full count. Jack Lute, number 16, who celebrated his birthday here on Friday, at the plate, slams a 3-run triple into the right field wall for the victory over Laredo at the bottom of the frame. High drama last night. Mexico also beating Puerto Rico, whom they faced twice before and split the series, to advance to today's championship game. That game happening this morning. Thank you to everyone watching. Those of you that are watching, if you want your family and friends to join in, have them go to LaredoPony.org, click that Palomino live stream button at the very top. Well, they can go to YouTube, Laredo Pony channel, and the games are being streamed there. You can also go to Facebook and catch the championship game between Japan and the Dominican Republic in the 12U Bronco division, currently going on down at the Benavides Sports Complex. If you've been to any of the games, if you've seen any of them on the live stream, you know that this has been quality baseball the entire weekend. And what a great opportunity for these kids from around the world to compete against some of the best players. Some have already committed to their universities, or some have even made the rosters or the soon-to-be camps for some professional teams. New Taipei City, Taiwan had several of their big players no longer on the team because they were all picked up by teams and universities, and they were a little short-handed, but they managed to get into the winners brackets.
For Youngstown, Ohio, he's number 10, Austin.
But not able to make it into the championship game tonight. And so the first batter for tonight's game, leading off for Youngstown, Ohio, team coached by Don Pletcher, number 10, Austin Lafferty. Lafferty, the left fielder, will be facing off against a pitcher from Monterrey, whose name we will have shortly as we await the roster from the folks over at the Pony directorship tent. And strike one to Lafferty. Great pitching, great batting. It's been one heck of a series here. Foul ball, strike two to Lafferty. We've had some excitement, some drama, a triple play. Had a cat run onto the fields as well. Great game so far. Lots of excitement here at Unitrade Stadium on a warm Monday night. Great place for baseball. And Lafferty watches that go in. Ball one. 2 strikes. No outs. Here at the top of the frame. First batter off. Austin Lafferty with a 1-2 count and no outs. 2-2 now the count. What a great weekend it's been so far here at Unitrade Stadium and at Veterans Field. The folks over at LISD letting us have access to their field. And Lafferty takes ball 3, now a full count here in the top of the first. Leading off for Youngstown, Lafferty, the right fielder, who's had a great tournament as well. Swing, foul tip, stays with it. 3-2 the count. A.J. Havrilla, the third baseman on deck, waiting to come in. De Los Santos, the catcher for Mexico, also an outstanding athlete with a rocket arm. Ball 4 to Lafferty, so we have a runner at first. The first batter of the game is now on first base.
Now batting at number 3, A.J.
Havrilla coming into the box with a runner on and no outs in the top of the first inning of the championship game at Unitrade Stadium, Pony Palomino World Series 2023. And Havrilla takes strike 1 from the pitcher from Mexico on the mound. And again, once we get the roster, we'll be able to call his name. Either way, we'll do the best we can with what we got. Runner at first, leading off. Lafferty trying to get a good, healthy lead, but doesn't go. 1-1 the count. 73 mile an hour off-speed pitch from the pitcher from Monterrey, Nuevo León. Delivers strike 2. Top of the first. Second man of the order, A.J. Havrilla, at the plate with a runner at first. The leadoff batter, Lafferty. In a 1-2 count, no outs here at Unitrade Stadium. Struck him out, swinging. Havrilla out swinging, records out number 1.
Now batting is number 16, Jack Lute.
Jack Lute, the hero of last night's game against Laredo, came to the plate in the bottom of the 7th. Bases loaded, got himself into a pickle. Ball 1 to Lute. Got himself into the pickle with a full count with 2 outs. The dream scenario. And he lasers one into right field, scores 3 runs on a triple, ends the game, sends his team to the championship. That one hits the dirt, gets past the catcher. Lafferty jogging to second base. Runner now in scoring position with Jack Lute, the left-handed batter who's also playing first base for Youngstown, at the plate. We've had some great games here. Some fantastic games as well at Veterans Field. This tournament starting Friday, ending today. Teams from across the globe and all four corners of the U.S. were here. And we've got 3 balls, no strikes, 1 out, runner at second. Jack Lute at the plate for Youngstown, Ohio. Young man from Mexico trying to keep the base runner honest. And he throws his first strike to Lute. 3-1 the count. Lafferty is a pretty good base runner, but he's not going to steal. He's going to stay put. He knows that this catcher has got a cannon for an arm, and he's not going to tempt it. Now there's a high fly ball in foul territory. The catcher looks like he can make the play, and does. De Los Santos spinning around and around, and he finally gets the ball in his glove for out number 2. And the runner stays at second. So the designated hitter coming up, number 7, John Chalice. Chalice, who was playing catcher last night.
Number 7, John Chalice.
Had a uniform that was so covered with dirt, he looked like a poster child for Tide detergent. Is now all cleaned up, batting cleanup for Youngstown, Ohio. John Chalice, also great game at the catcher's position yesterday. Has 1 strike. There are 2 outs here in the top of the first inning, and a runner at second, Austin Lafferty. John Chalice, also a big bat, responsible for his team's success this weekend. Steps out of the box for a second, rethinks what he wants to do, and is back in. Lafferty patiently watching with 1 strike, 2 outs. 1-1 the count now to Chalice. That was a 74-mile-an-hour ball, a little high. Still warm here. Our friends over at Southern American, with their live Doppler radar feed for us, have been gracious enough to share that with us, as well as being part of the sponsorship group to bring this broadcast to you at no cost, no paywall, no subscription, no credit card required. Just jump on in and watch. Part of the commitment from Laredo Pony, the host team, the host organization, to try to get as many viewers to be able to jump on and watch the games. John Chalice at the plate, facing off against a right-handed pitcher for Mexico with Lafferty at second. 2 outs, 1-2 the count. 2-2 now. High fastball, 87 miles an hour. Unitrade Stadium has a radar here. This is the home of the Tecolotes de los Dos Laredos, the Bad Hombres featured in a documentary. Team plays on both sides of the Rio Grande, part of the Mexican National League. Chalice at the plate, 2-2 count, and another foul ball. Going into the bleachers there, and looks like some young man's going to grab himself a souvenir. Lafferty at second, 1 runner on, 2-2 the count, 2 outs, top of the first. John Chalice, the designated hitter, at the plate, batting in the number 4 spot. Another high fastball, 85-mile-an-hour fastball from our pitcher from Mexico. And I'm going to pull up an old roster here from a previous game. And let's see if I can get an idea of who this young man is. John Chalice at the plate. And a grounder to short, picked up by the shortstop. And the ball gets past the first baseman one hop and goes over his glove, and Chalice, not the speediest of runners, is still safe at first, and 1 run scores. And so at the top of the first inning of the game, of this championship game, we have Youngstown leading 1-0 with 2 outs and a runner at first. And now at the plate, Ben Slanker, the center fielder, who takes strike 1.
Now batting is number 1, Ben Steinker.
Is that a strike?
And that was a strike. And a foul tip. Strike 2. 0-2 the count to Slanker, the center fielder, with a runner on, 1 run already scored. First baseman charged with the error. And another fastball that hits the ground in front of the catcher, bouncing off to his right, and Chalice advances to second. So Slanker now has a runner in scoring position with 1 run, 2 outs, and 1-2 the count to the center fielder, Slanker. Chalice, the runner at second. Another high fastball, 2-2 the count. And the runner, Chalice, stretching out his lead a little bit here. Pitcher looking in. Slanker takes ball 3.
Full count.
So we got a full count. Runner at second. 2 outs. 1-0 Youngstown, leading Mexico in the first half of the first inning of the championship game here at Unitrade Stadium, Pony Palomino World Series action. Slanker's going to walk and heads to first base, so we have runners at first and second with 2 outs, and Youngstown leading 1-0. Catcher walking to the mound to settle down his pitcher, number 24, who is Ivan Lozano. Ivan Lozano is the pitcher, and I'm going to be using an old roster, so if I get the position wrong, I'm at least going to get the name right by the numbers. And if we can, I know that the folks that are listening might help me out. Get word to these folks that we are missing the roster for our team from Mexico.
Now batting is number 8, Owen Penny.
So coming to the plate for Youngstown with 2 runners on is number 8, the shortstop, Owen Henny. Henny also contributing to his team's victory last night with a crucial hit in the 7th inning. Takes ball 1. 2 men on, 2 outs. Top of the first, 1-0 Youngstown. Pony Palomino World Series action here. And Lozano wants to make sure that Chalice, the catcher for Youngstown, doesn't go anywhere. Turns around, takes a quick peek at him. Now facing Henny. Looks and delivers. Strike 1. 1-1 the count. Runners at first and second. Henny, the shortstop, at the plate. Lozano on the mound for Mexico in the top of the first inning. And a foul ball by Henny into the net. 2 runners on. Youngstown, Ohio leading Mexico 1-0 in the opening frame. The shortstop, Owen Henny, at the plate. Ivan Lozano on the mound for Mexico. And he takes ball 2. Pitcher throwing somewhere in the high to mid 80s when he fires his fastball. And Henny is shot into shallow center left, I'm sorry. And that's going to score John Chalice, the catcher, to give Youngstown, Ohio, a 2-0 lead here at the top of the first frame of the last game of this World Series, the championship game. And the coach is talking to Lozano, and he's going to make a pitching change already. Worried that his team might fall too far behind, and he's going to bring in a reliever who's coming in from the bullpen. And we'll catch his number for you real quick, tell you who that is. Youngstown, Ohio leading 2-0 with 2 outs. Henny with the fly ball to shallow left field. Bringing in John Chalice, the catcher.
Number 9.
And so coming to the mound in relief of number 24, Ivan Lozano's number 9, Isaac Miranda. Isaac Miranda, the reliever, coming in for the starter, Ivan Lozano, who makes an early exit in the first
On the
inning.
mound for Mexico, number 9, Isaac Miranda.
Worried that the Youngstown, Ohio bats would come alive here and continue to drive in runs. The team from Monterrey, Mexico decides to make a change. The manager, Jose Cavazos, coach Jesus Bernal, and their business manager, Edgar Mureira, all having conversations about what we're going to do. And they decide to pull the starter, Lozano, early. Youngstown will now have Gino Lazzari coming to the plate. Lazzari is your
Now batting is
right fielder.
Gino Lazzari.
Number 9, Isaac Miranda, right-hander, will face off against Gino Lazzari, the left-hander. And our friends over at Game Changer walking by and screaming. Those guys get rattled every time a foul ball goes over their head. He was having a hard time keeping up with the batters over the weekend because he was wearing his missus' glasses. I don't think the prescription was for him. So back to the action. Gino Lazzari in the box. Isaac Miranda on the mound. 2 runners on, 2 outs. And Miranda throws ball 1 to Lazzari. Youngstown leading here in the opening inning, top half of the frame. Pony Palomino World Series action brought to you by Southern Sanitation and Southern American, the Laredo Weather Radar. That's high. Ball 2. Again, Unitrade Stadium, because it's the home of the Tecolotes of the Dos Laredos, has some nifty equipment, has a velocity meter, a radar here at home plate, and we're able to see the count, the velocity of the pitches, and that's fouled. Lazzari taking a cut at that one. 2-1 the count, 2 runners on for Youngstown, Ohio, leading 2-0 over Mexico here in the opening frame. Isaac Miranda in relief of Lozano already here in the top of the first. And a grounder right to Miranda, and he walks over and does a gentle toss to the first baseman. And that ends the top half of the first inning. Youngstown 2, Mexico nothing. And we'll be right back after a few short commercial messages. Let's roll.
I'm gonna go back to my cubby.
So we're back, live action, Unitrade Stadium, Pony Palomino World Series. Mexico, now their turn to bat, bottom of the first inning, with Youngstown already leading 2-0.
Now batting is number 6, Johan Lopez.
Johan Lopez, the leadoff hitter for Monterrey, top of the order, will be facing the pitcher Ryan Apaliski. Apaliski, first time I've seen him on the mound. I'm sure he's pitched other games that I didn't call. Left-handed pitcher for Youngstown, Ohio. Will be facing off against the right-handed and speedy Johan Lopez here in the bottom of the first, the opening frame for the 2023 Pony Palomino World Series Championship. Apaliski throws it a little high, 85 miles an hour. Ball 1. On deck is 23 Mureta. Ball 2. Apaliski settling in with
Oh, I didn't play this one.
2-0 the count. That's 3-0 the count.
We played last night, man. That was a great game.
Got a visitor in our booth here, Coach Manolo Rangel from Laredo. His team, valiant effort last night, losing in high drama with a last inning, last at bat, last pitch to Youngstown, Ohio, who is here now for the championship game. Mureta coming to the plate
Number 23, Edgar Morelia.
with Johan Lopez getting ball 4 and walking to first. Apaliski on the mound for Youngstown, throwing about 85 miles an hour here. The lefty facing Mureta, who has been at second base most of the time. Strike 1, 1-1 the count, 1 runner on over Johan Lopez over at first base. And unfortunately, at this 10 seconds, I still don't have a lineup from Mexico, so I'm using an old roster I've got here, so I know the numbers. And the catcher taking a stab at first base. The runner, Lopez, had gotten a little too far for his comfort, but unable to get him. We've got what we think is a 2-1 count. And it's 3-1. We are correct, 3-1. Now with Apaliski throwing another ball to Mureta. And again, Mureta usually seen at second base. We believe that's where he's at today. And that's strike 2. So a full count to Mureta with a runner at first, Lopez. Apaliski on the mound, number 15 for Youngstown, Ohio. And a foul ball just outside the field of play over the first baseman. Our sponsor, Southern Sanitation, LISD, UISD, La Posada Hotel, HEB, our good friend Lilin, who fed all the players the other night. And strike 3 from Apaliski sends Mureta to the dugout. Coming to bat, number 25, Saul Lopez.
Now batting is number 25, Saul Lopez.
Who we believe is at shortstop. That's where he's been in previous games. No reason to believe he'd make a change. And as Apaliski throws a high fastball, ball 1 to Lopez. With Lopez, Johan Lopez, standing at first, 1 out, bottom of the first inning. Saul Lopez takes strike 1 from Apaliski. 1-1 the count. Youngstown leading 2-0 over Mexico. Runner at first. And a foul ball by Lopez. 1-2 the count. Runner at first. Wind speed's about 6 miles an hour coming out of the southeast. Not too bad. And that's a ball to Lopez. So that'll make the count 2-2. Runner at first. Still warm this evening, about 103 degrees. Max wind speed's about 4.7, courtesy of our friends at Southern American. Swinging a foul tip by Lopez. Providing us live Doppler radar and weather forecast. State-of-the-art live Doppler, privately owned, only one in the world. Subscribe on YouTube and stay ahead of the storm. Number 25, Lopez at the plate. Apeliski on the mound. And another foul ball. Lopez battling Apeliski with Johan Lopez on first base. Bottom of the first. Runner at first. 2-2 the count. Designator Zinni on deck, waiting to come in. Lopez at the plate. Hits another foul ball. Little grounder with eyes rolling towards the coach from Mexico. And he's battling Apeliski. He's going to make him throw a few pitches. Maybe wear him out. But we'll see. We'll see how rested the number 15 left-hander is. And there goes the runner. Lopez from first, but foul ball. Speedy Johan Lopez has been known to take a base or two. 2-2 the count, one out. Bottom of the first inning, the championship game here at Pony Palomino World Series. And Apeliski has another foul ball hit by Lopez. That one going into the parking lot, I think. Coach, remember they used to give you a raspa or a Fritos if you brought it back. Baseballs were expensive back then. They still are. Apeliski on the mound. High pitch, 3-2. Full count now to Lopez. Lopez, who is the shortstop for Mexico, or has been, I don't have an official roster yet, has a runner at take off on him, but it's ball four. And so now, with one out, batting in the fourth spot, the designated hitter, Gael Zinni, who is usually the DH, batting for the pitcher, Isaac Miranda, who had come in relief of Ivan Lozano. Two runners on, one out, bottom of the first. Zinni at the plate. Apeliski throws him a strike to start the duel between pitcher and batter. 0-1 the count, one out, two runners on. And a shot that is going to fall in right in front of the left fielder. Here comes Lopez to the plate. And Lopez to the plate. And Zinni, two-run double. So scoring Johan Lopez and Saul Lopez. The Lopez connection ties it for Mexico. 2-2 here in the bottom of the first inning. One out. One runner on at second. Zinni, the designated hitter, who just drove in two runs with a sharp shot down the third field baseline, third base line over into left field. Boy, I'm getting tongue-tied today. Apolitsky, ball 1 to number 55, De Los Santos, the catcher for Mexico. And if you've seen him play at any of the games, you know this kid is an athlete, De Los Santos. Takes strike 1 from Apolitsky. So we have a runner at second. The score is 2-2, 1 out. De Los Santos at the plate, and Apolitsky gets him in the corner, strike 2. Nice breaking ball, about 73 miles an hour. The perfect spot where De Los Santos couldn't get to it. And that's 2-2 the count with a ball. 1 out, 1 runner on in scoring position. 2-2 here in the bottom of the first inning, ball 3 to De Los Santos. The left-hander, Apolitsky, trying to hold the Mexico score to 2, walks De Los Santos. So that'll put 2 runners on, 1 at first, 1 at second. And Hector Jaquez, who has been at center field.
Now batting is number 42, Hector Jaquez.
And we believe he's still there. He's done a stand-up job there. And will be facing the left-handed pitcher, Ryan Apolitsky, as soon as the coach, Don Pletcher, finishes his conversation with Apolitsky. And we're still hoping to get a roster so that we can accurately tell you where everybody's playing. We know the numbers, we know the names, we just don't know what positions they're at for sure. Strike 1 to Jaquez from Apolitsky. 2 runners on, 1 out, 2-2, bottom of the first. Pony Palomino World Series championship game at Unitrade, ball 1. Here at the home of the Tecolotes of the Los Dos Laredos. Apolitsky winds and throws, foul ball, making that a 1-2 count with 1 out and 2 runners on. Youngstown winning in dramatic fashion last night over the host team Laredo to advance to the championship game here tonight. Struck out to record a second out here in the bottom of the second. The catcher for Youngstown, Antonio Cordeiro, up out of his seat, fires one back at first to see if he can get himself another one. So Apolitsky will now face off against Alfredo Gonzalez, who has been, for the most part, in right field. Courtesy runner coming onto the field, number 26, who I don't see on the roster here, or at least the one that I have. But that was number 26 going out to courtesy run for the catcher, De Los Santos. Give him some time to get his gear on. 28 Gonzalez takes a hard swing. Strike 1. 1-1 the count. 2 runners on, 2 outs, 2-2 the score. Bottom of the first. And Apolitsky throws ball 2. 2-1, 2 outs, 2 men on. Bottom of the first. And that's going to be a ball. 3-1 the count to Gonzalez. Alfredo Gonzalez, number 28, the right fielder. Apeliski on the mound for Youngstown, Ohio, with 2 runners on. That's a little low, and that's going to walk Gonzalez and load the bases. Number 2 coming to the plate, Juan Quintanilla, the first baseman, left-hander, solid hitter, has a great opportunity to add some runs here. With bases loaded, 2 outs, a little high drama here in the first inning. And that grounder is going to get through to right field. 2 runs are going to score. And now we have runners at the corner. At the corners with Mexico leading 4-2. And that brings up number 15, Sebastian Morales, I believe, who is in left field, according to my old roster. And that's right, I've got him pegged right.
Now batting is number 15, Sebastian Morales.
Sebastian Morales at the plate, the lefty facing the left-handed Apeliski with runners on the corner. And he takes strike 2. 0-2 the count. 2 outs, 2 runners on at the corners. Here in the bottom of the first inning, high fastball. 1-2 the count. Top of the order on deck, Johan Lopez. Outside, 2-2 the count. Now to Morales. Morales, who has been in left field. We're going to believe that he's there now. Foul ball high over the press box. That one's going to wake up the folks over at Game Changer. You know, they seem to duck every time foul balls go over their head or pigeons fly by. Another foul ball. That one coming towards us over here. Safety first. It's okay, Art. You can get out from underneath the desk. Don't worry. Mexico leads here in the bottom of the first, 4-2. Sebastian Morales, the batter, asking the umpire to give me a second. Let me think about this. Apeliski on the mound, the left-hander for Youngstown, has runners on the corners. And the runner first goes, and it's strike 3. Apeliski gets him looking. Morales not happy with that call, but it is what it is, and it ends the inning. Not before Mexico scores 4 runs to take the lead here in the championship game. Youngstown 2, Mexico 4, and we'll be right back for the top of the second inning.
Now batting is number 20, Antonio Cordero.
Back to the action here. Pony Palomino World Series Championship game live from Unitrade Stadium, courtesy of our sponsor, Southern Sanitation. Number 20 at the plate, Antonio Cordero. Cordero is in the catcher's position today, taking over for John Chalice, who had a wonderful game last night. Just did phenomenal yesterday. And he takes ball one. Foul ball. 1-1 the count. And I'm hoping here that when the pitcher gets the, there we go, number 9, Isaac Miranda, still on the mound. Relief of Ivan Lozano, who exited early here this evening. Mexico leads 4-2. Top of the second inning. And Cordero takes a strike. 1-2 the count. Cordero, the leadoff batter for the Youngstown, Ohio team. Miranda on the mound. Cordero at the plate. 1-2 the count. And it takes 2-2. That's a ball. Although that looked good from here. But I'm not wearing the gear, so I don't get to make that call. Umpire also giving the coaches over at Mexico dugout a hush warning. Cordero, the catcher, facing off against Miranda, the pitcher, for Mexico. And that's a ball to bring up a full count in the top of the second. No outs. Leadoff hitter, number 20, Cordero, facing off against the right-hander, Isaac Miranda. Live action here Monday night. Foul ball down the first baseline. Top of the second inning. 4-2 the score. Mexico lead. Both teams struggling on the mound to start the championship game here in the first inning, allowing some runs to come in, leaving runners stranded at base as well. And let's see what Cordero can do to get his team a few runs here. High fastball, ball 4. He's going to walk to first. Miranda unhappy with that pitch himself, but he's going to put a runner on first, and Cordero, the catcher, will get a courtesy runner, number 9.
Hitting is number 4, A.J. Capisi.
Number 9, Justin Weaver, who had come in as a courtesy runner last night in one of the early innings, got caught in a fake throw at third and was ruled out. High fly ball into right field, shallow right, and the right fielder there to make the catch. And we think that right fielder is number 28, Alfredo Gonzalez. And for the moment, until we get a roster, we're going to give him credit.
Brings up the starting lineup. Top of the order, number 10, Austin Lafferty.
And the top of the order for Youngstown, now at the plate, Austin Lafferty, the left fielder for Youngstown, Ohio. Runner at first. 1 out, Lafferty at the plate, Miranda on the mound. And that one's in the dirt, but De Los Santos keeps it in front of him. De Los Santos, a tall catcher. Strong arm, saw him throw one in the last game against Puerto Rico from that same squat position and no problem getting his man at second. Lafferty takes ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 man on, 1 out here in the top of the second inning of the Pony Palomino World Series championship game between Youngstown, Ohio and Mexico. And that's a strike from Miranda. The team from Mexico is the team from Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico, just south of us here, about 150 miles, against Youngstown, Ohio. That's a ball, and so that's going to bring 3-1 the count to Lafferty with a runner at first and 1 out, trailing 2-4 here in the top of the second. Miranda winds and throws it inside and walks Lafferty. So now with 1 out, there are 2 runners on the bases for Youngstown, and number 3, A.J. Havrilla, the third baseman.
Number 3, Havrilla.
Havrilla coming to the plate is the third baseman who made some outstanding plays yesterday to keep his team. Has 2 runners on, and he takes strike 1 from Miranda. Our good friends over at Southern American giving us live Doppler feeds, the Laredo Weather Radar, state-of-the-art Doppler, privately owned. Superior technology keeps you ahead of the storm. On the mound, Miranda. At the plate, Havrilla, 2 runners on.
Whoa.
And Miranda looks like he almost came off the mound awkwardly when Havrilla asked for a sec. 0-1 the count, 1 out. Top of the second inning, 2 runners on. Youngstown trailing 2-4. Miranda delivers, and Havrilla sends it right down the middle, and that's going to get through. The runner, number 9, coming in is safe. The courtesy runner, Weaver, motors all the way from second as the center fielder charged that. Jacquez had a good throw. Weaver just able to get there ahead of the throw. And so now the score is 3-4 here in the top of the second with 1 out. Still 2 runners on.
Batting is number 16, Jack Lute.
And last night's hero at the plate, Jack Lute, who had a 3-run triple that ended the game for Youngstown last night and sent Laredo home and sent his team into the championship game here tonight. The left-handed Lute is the first baseman for Youngstown. Also celebrated his birthday here this weekend on Friday. And that's a shot into right field, but the right fielder able to get that. And he holds up the runner by getting that ball back to the shortstop. So 2 outs now at the top of the second inning here. 2 runners on, and number 7 coming in to bat in the cleanup spot, John Chalice, the designated hitter, who last night was catching for Youngstown. Exceptional athlete. Miranda on the mound, 2 on, 2 outs. And Chalice swing and a miss. 87-mile-an-hour fastball tossed by Miranda. That speed coming courtesy of the velocity meter here at Unitrade Stadium. Radar used by the Tecolotes of Los Dos Laredo. This is their home field. Unitrade Stadium. the premier baseball facility in South Texas. Beautiful facility, not that old, about 10 years now. And as stadiums go these days, that's not very old. Getting a facelift this year as well. City pouring in a few $1 million to make this thing nice and nifty again. Pony Palomino action, World Series 2023. Chalice at the plate, Miranda on the mound, 2 on, 2 outs, 0-2 the count. And Chalice hits one up in the air, foul ball. De Los Santos looking to see if he can get it. Looks at it through the net. Looking at that foul ball like a young man looks at a Christmas dinner, Christmas morning, wanting to get at it. Not able to. So 0-2 the count, 2 outs. The top of the second inning, John Chalice at the plate, Miranda on the mound, 2 runners on with 2 outs. And Chalice hits one into shortstop. The shortstop unable to get a good footing, but he's able to get the throw over to second. And that ends the inning, but not before Youngstown scores 1 run, edging closer. 3-4 here in the bottom of the second as we get to Mexico coming to the plate. And we'll be right back after a brief message. Mexico facing Apoliski, the left-hander Ryan Apoliski for Youngstown, Ohio. Mexico leading 4-3. 1-1 the count to Lopez, who took ball 1 and then took a stab at another foul ball. Apoliski, left-handed pitcher, throwing in the mid-80s. That speed coming courtesy of our radar here at Unitrade Stadium. The weather coming courtesy of our live Doppler. Ball 2, that one scraping the plate as it went by. Apoliski winds, and a foul ball out of play. Lopez, a speedy base runner, the third baseman for Mexico, takes ball 3. So we've got a full count here. No outs. First batter here at the bottom of the second. And that one goes into center field, and the center fielder backing up. That one at about the 350 mark. And the center fielder Ben Slanker
Now
able to
23, Edgar Moradia.
snag that and record out number 1 for Youngstown. Bottom of the second, Youngstown 3, Mexico 4. Edgar Moreira at the plate. And Moreira, who's been at second base, no reason to believe that he's not there now. Takes ball 1, 1 strike, 1 ball, 1 out, bottom of the second. Politsky throws ball 2. Pony Palomino World Series action here from Unitrade Stadium. Foul ball evens the count, 2-2. 1 out, fly ball by the leadoff batter Lopez, caught by Ben Slanker. And that's a foul ball. Had a good conversation last year from one of the parents at Youngstown, Ohio, Ronnie Harper's dad. And that one goes into right field. The right fielder making an adjustment, coming up and grabbing it. And that's out number 2. The right fielder, Gino Lazzari, who is a left-handed batter and was a contributor to last night's dramatic win over Laredo to send his team into the championship.
25, Saul Lopez.
So the shortstop, Saul Lopez, at the plate with 2 outs. Nobody on in the bottom of the second inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Facing off against the left-handed Ryan Apoliski on the mound for Youngstown. Now, ump is asking Apoliski to hold on while Lopez settles in. And that's a ball low. 1-1 to count. Again, nobody on. 2 outs. Lopez, the shortstop, at the plate. Apoliski winds. Foul ball. 1-2 the count now. The DH, the designated hitter, Zenny on deck circle, waiting for his chance at a bat. Apoliski winds, and that one goes right at him, and unable to make the throw after what looked like Apoliski either tried to backhand it around his back, lost his glove, ball deflected, rolled towards third baseman Havrilla, scooping it up barehanded.
Now batting is number 12, Gael City.
Unable to get it over to first in time, so we have a runner at first. The designated hitter in the 4th spot, Gael Zenny, at the plate. That one gets away from Cordero, the catcher, and now Lopez is on the move at second base. And he is antsy, looking like he wants to get to third. Foul ball. Looks like it's out of play, but it may still be able to get there, and he does. The first baseman, Jack Lute, up against the fence line there, records out number 3, and that'll do it for the second inning. Mexico still leading 4-3, and we'll be right back after we thank our sponsors who've made this broadcast free. Back to the action here, top of the third, Pony Palomino World Series. Isaac Miranda on the mound for Mexico. With number 1, Ben Slanker, the center fielder,
Now
taking
batting
strike
number
1.
Ben Slanker.
Odd-looking bunt attempt. Looked like he was going to do the jitterbug and missed it altogether. That's inside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Leading off for Youngstown, Ohio here in the top of the third. Ben Slanker, the center fielder who recorded the first out in the last inning. Deep fly ball about 350 feet back into the turf. Is now facing Miranda at the plate on the mound. And that was kind of high. And Slanker looked like he wanted to bunt that. 2-1 the count. 3-4 the score. Nobody on. Top of the third. Miranda on the mound. Slanker in the box. The windup. And that's inside as well. 83 miles an hour. About ankle high. Ball 3. 3-1 the count. No outs. Here in the top of the third at Unitrade Stadium. Pony Palomino World Series action brought to you by Southern Sanitation. And that's a shot foul. That's going to take some paint off that wall. Unitrade Stadium, home of the Tecolotes, the city of Laredo's facility, built about 10 years ago. Started 12 years ago. I remember that because I was on the city council then. Isaac Miranda on the mound. Ben Slanker, the center fielder, at the plate. And that one's grounded foul down the first baseline. Mexico leading 4-3 here in the top of the third inning. Thank you to our friends over at UISD for assisting the Pony organization and the city of Laredo in transporting all of the players back and forth from the fields and to the venues and out to some entertainment and restaurants. Appreciate all the folks there at the transportation department at UISD. Oh, and what a shot that is, but that's foul. But Slanker got a hold of that one and was zooming down that first baseline and decided, I'll take a turn here at Albuquerque and go foul. Top of the third inning, Isaac Miranda, who came in relief of Ivan Lozano in that first frame, on the mound facing Ben Slanker, the center fielder. Strike 3, got him looking. Slanker thought he was gonna walk to first, but Blue said no. Strike 3. First out of the inning. And now number 8, Owen Henney at the plate.
Now batting at number 8, Owen Henney.
Henney, the shortstop for Youngstown, Ohio. Takes strike 1 from Miranda. 1 out, nobody on, top of the third. Mexico leading here 4-3. The team hails from Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico, about 150 miles south of here. That one's down in the dirt. 1-1 the count. Got a text here somewhere, and I'm going to read out some names of some of those great drivers from UISD that were instrumental in making sure the precious cargo, our youth, got to the venues. Oh, and that's a shot in between center and right field. The right fielder on his horse able to get that one hopper and keep him from getting two out of it. But that puts a runner at first with one out. And number 2, Gino Lazari, the right fielder for Youngstown.
Now batting is number 2, Gino Lazari.
Coming into the box to face off against Miranda. One out. One runner on. Miranda on the mound. Lazari at the plate. Foul ball. That one coming right over our heads. Look out, Hector, over there at Game Changer. These games were brought to you by all our generous sponsors who made this live stream possible. The group over at Liquid Studio Group, manning the cameras and the switchers. Producer Marisol Suarez, director Carla Sanchez, and the crew from Liquid Studio Group bringing you all the action here today. 1-1 the count, one out, one runner on, and Lazari trying to close the gap here on Mexico as they trail 4-3 in the top of the third. I was telling you about those great drivers over at UISD and the transportation of the kids. Big thank you to Diana and Jose, Juan, Jose Joe, and Eduardo. Those were our drivers who made sure our kids got to where they were going safely. The assistant superintendents over there, Mike Garza, and Director of Transportation, Joe Aranda, thank you for getting our youth to and from. Superintendent David Gonzalez, all the board members, big supporters of our youth here and baseball, and especially Pony. 2-2 the count to Lazari with the runner on, one out, top of the third. Mexico 4, Youngstown 3. And that's a high foul ball coming right over, coming towards us. Isaac Miranda has been on the mound in relief of Ivan Lozano, who exited early. Manager Jose Cavazos for the team from Monterrey making a change early. The Youngstown team coached by Don Pletcher. Both teams well coached, very disciplined, good fundamentals. Miranda, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that sends Lazari back to the dugout. 2 outs now, one runner on, and Antonio Cordero, number 20.
Number 20, Antonio Cordero.
Cordero, the catcher for Youngstown, squares off against Isaac Miranda, the right-hander for Monterrey, Mexico, with a runner on and 2 outs here in the top of the third. His team trailing. Oh, and a shot in between third and short, going to roll out to left field, and that's going to move the runner from first to second. Single by Cordero, the catcher, who's going to get Justin Weaver to courtesy run for him. Weaver responsible for the run that scored in the last inning.
Now hitting is number 4, A.J. Capizzi.
Driven in again by A.J. Havrilla in the last inning. So at the plate, A.J. Capizzi. Capizzi in the number 4 spot, second baseman. Facing off against Miranda with 2 runners on and 2 outs here in the top of the third. And Capizzi sends one into right field. The right fielder's right there, ready for it. And that will do it for the top half of the third. Youngstown 3, Mexico 4, and we'll be right back after these commercial messages. Back to the live action, bottom of the third, Pony Palomino World Series championship game, Youngstown, Ohio versus Mexico. Number 55, De Los Santos leading off. Takes ball one from Ryan Apeliski. Apeliski pitching for Youngstown. Delivers ball two to De Los Santos, the catcher for Mexico. 2-0 the count. 3-0 the count now. Here in the bottom of the third, with Mexico leading 4-3. And De Los Santos walks 4 straight balls from Apeliski.
Now batting is number 42, Hector Jaquez.
Hector Jaquez, the center fielder, marches into the box. And we're going to get a courtesy runner, number 26. And again, I don't have a 26 on my roster here. But I want to say that's going to be Daniel Garza, because that's the only 20-some I've got. I've got a 24 here in an old roster, but I don't have the current roster for this game from the folks over at the Pony tent. Foul ball on a bunt attempt by Jaquez. 0-1 the count. Nobody out. 1 runner on. Bottom of the third. Apeliski goes to first. The courtesy runner, number 26, hopping back safely. And that one is flied right into right field. The right fielder, Gino Lozari, easy out for him. And that records out number 1 with a runner on, and number 28, Alfredo Gonzalez, who's been in right field as well for Mexico, at the plate. Apeliski, the left-hander, winds and foul ball. 1 runner on, 0-1 the count, bottom of the third. Pony Palomino World Series action right here in Laredo, Texas. And that's a shot, slanker on his horse. The center fielder gets it. Out number 2. Ryan Apeliski, getting some good defense from his team. Has allowed only 4 runs, but nothing since that first frame. Early game jitters maybe, has settled in and is doing well here. Oh, I just said that and now he hits. Number 2, Juan Quintanilla, the third baseman. Quintanilla takes that fastball right in the forearm, and that's going to leave a mark. Oh, and that's got to hurt. He's in pain, and I think they're signaling for the Laredo Fire Department, who has an emergency crew here, maybe looking for some spray to ice that down some. But boy, does that hurt. I'm up here in the booth about 100 feet, and that's hurting me over here. The left-handed Apeliski throwing in that mid to high 80s hit him square in the forearm. Seems to be okay. Walking over to first, and that will put runners at first and second with 2 outs. Bottom of the third, Mexico still leading 4-3. Here at Unitrade Stadium, Pony Palomino World Series action. Back to the action. Apeliski throws one high over the head of the batter. Sebastian Morales, the left fielder, with 2 on and 2 outs. Bottom of the third, Apeliski throws ball 2. The winds have seemed to calm down. The flag's waving over there, but not too briskly. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Morales taking a hard cut at that. Apeliski ready to go again. Already winding up. And delivers. High, ball 3. 3-1 the count. 2 outs here at the bottom of the third. 2 runners on. And Apeliski walks Sebastian Morales, and that's going to bring the top of the order into the box. Johan Lopez to the plate.
Now batting is number 6, Johan Lopez.
Bases loaded. Apeliski, the left-hander, having a chat with his catcher, Antonio Cordero. Youngstown trying to keep the score just as it is for New Mexico. 3 for Youngstown. Here in the bottom of the third of the championship game on a warm Laredo night at Unitrade Stadium. Had a light tower go out yesterday. It's back on. Thanks to the good folks here at Unitrade to get that back and ready for tonight's game. 1-0 the count, two outs, and that goes to second base. And that's out number 3, ending the threat. And after 3 innings, it is Youngstown 3, Mexico 4. Live stream brought to you by Southern Sanitation. We're going to take a break, say thank you to our sponsors, and be right back.
Life is full of great moments, special moments, shared with friends, family, and loved ones. But for some, pain deprives us from fully enjoying these moments. If chronic pain is keeping you from fully enjoying life, there is hope. Hi, I'm Dr. Marta Martinez. At Advanced Spine Pain Solutions, we're dedicated to treating our patients with the most advanced and compassionate care possible. Visit us for an evaluation and let our experienced staff help you get back to living a pain-free life.
Back to the live action, and if you got a chance to see it right before coming back, the Doppler radar provided by Southern American, giving us our forecast and our weather feed. It's 98 degrees here. Well, this one says 101 now. Clear skies, winds out of the southeast. Austin Lafferty, top of the order at the plate for Youngstown, Ohio. Isaac Miranda still on the mound for Monterrey. Here at the top of the fourth inning with Youngstown trailing by 1. We've had some great action all week long here from all the teams that came in. Oh, look at that shot. Center fielder unable to get there, and Lafferty can't decide whether he wants to go for 2 or not, but it's going to stay at first. That one dropping at about 350 feet out there in between center and right field.
Now batting at number 3, A.J. Correa.
So a leadoff single by Lafferty, the left fielder. A.J. Havrilla batting in the number 2 slot. Here as the Youngstown brings the top of the order to the plate. And that's low, ball 1. So last night we get a visit from a cat. Runs all around the field. Then the lights go out at the tower. Odd, strange happenings, and then high drama. Strike 1, 1-1 the count. High drama as Youngstown, facing off against Laredo, gets into that last frame. Bases loaded, full count, and Jack Lute drives in the necessary runs to get Youngstown to this point here in the championship game. That's low. 2-1 the count to Havrilla. Runner at first. Lafferty, the leadoff batter, with a leadoff single into center right. Havrilla facing off against Isaac Miranda, pitching for Monterrey, Mexico. The all-star team from Youngstown, Ohio. And there goes Lafferty. Lafferty is going to go in safely to second. No outs. A runner at second now. And a 3-1 count to Havrilla at the plate. And Havrilla is the third baseman for Youngstown. Youngstown coached by Don Pletcher. Great teams. Were here last year. challenging for the championship as well. Mexico, no stranger to the winner's bracket, also making a return. And we have a runner at second. No outs, 3-1. And Havrilla, little blooper here to shortstop. Shortstop's got it. Out number 1 here in the top of the 4th. And speaking of high drama, last night's game-winning triple, 3-run triple hitter, Jack Lute, steps into the plate. Steps into the box, onto the plate. Isaac Miranda on the mound. Lute batting left-handed. For Youngstown, drove in 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning yesterday. He had a full count, 2 outs, and bases loaded when he shot one into right field, right along the baseline, rolled all the way to the wall, and that was it for Laredo. And Youngstown advanced to tonight's game. Miranda throws a ball, so the count now 2-0. Runner at second, Lafferty, the leadoff hitter, with 1 out. And John Chalice on deck. Well, that's a strike. 2-1 the count to Lute, the left-handed first baseman. On deck, John Chalice, the designated hitter, batting for Ryan Apoliski, the pitcher. And pitching for Mexico, Isaac Miranda. Puts one in the dirt. That gets past the catcher, De Los Santos. And if there's going to be some drama tonight, we're going to have a nice backdrop to it, a full moon rising here out of the east. Maybe our cat friend will swing back by to add to the aura of tonight's game. Warm night, still 100 degrees here in Laredo. Jack Lute at the plate, Miranda on the mound, runner at third, inching ever so close to home. And that's a walk. So with 1 out, here in the top of the 4th, we have runners at first and third, on the corners. And number 7, the designated hitter in the cleanup spot, John Chalice, at the plate.
Now hitting is number 7, John Chalice.
I made the comment earlier that John Chalice, last night's uniform just had dirt all over it. He had done a great job at the catcher spot, keeping everything in front of him. 1 out. Low, ball 1, 86-mile-an-hour pitch coming from Miranda. And Chalice, as I was saying, boy, it didn't look like his uniform was ever going to get clean. That was a tied challenge if I'd ever seen one. But today, he's in the DH spot. Going to help his team that way. Miranda now has a runner at third, runner at first, 1 out, and is facing John Chalice, the designated hitter in the cleanup spot for Youngstown, here at the Pony Palomino World Series. And there goes Jack Lute, and there goes that cannon from De Los Santos, who barely inched up out of his stands and was able to fire that thing all the way into second, almost getting Lute, who's a speedy runner. And then having Lafferty jumped back to third to make sure he didn't go anywhere. Trying to get a count here from the ump with Chalice at the plate and Miranda on the mound. 2 runners on, only 1 out, top of the 4th. Foul ball. So we know we got at least 1-1 here. 1 out. Runners in scoring position. Youngstown trails. Youngstown trails by 1, 3-4 here. And it's a 2-1 count to Chalice. And top of the 4th inning. Live action coming to you from Unitrade Stadium, home of the Tecolotes of los Dos Laredos. And that's high, ball 3. So with runners at third and second, John Chalice, the designated hitter in the cleanup spot, readjusts, gets back in, gets ready to face off Miranda with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Trying to put some runs on the board, erase the deficit, and there's a shot, foul, over to the grassy knoll.
Full count.
And we've got a full count. Miranda just threw an 86-mile-an-hour pitch to him. Those velocities coming from the radar here at Unitrade. Professional baseball, Mexican League, only team that plays on both sides of the border. This is their home, the home of the Tecolotes of los Dos Laredos. Live stream coming to you courtesy of Southern Sanitation, our title sponsor, and all the other sponsors who made this possible, including HEB, Line Decker Construction, LISD, UISD, and of course, your host, the City of Laredo, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Parks and Recs Department. By the way, Parks and Recs Department, what an awesome job keeping these fields nice and player ready. A shot into center field. Center fielder is going to get it, but that's going to bring in Lafferty and move Lute to third. And so the deficit is erased here in the top of the 4th. 2 outs, runner at third, and it's 4-4. Ben Slanker comes over and grabs a piece of gear from Jack Lute.
That's it for the pitcher.
And Mexico, Coach Jose Cavazos decides, I've seen enough. Let me get another arm in here. Isaac Miranda, great job coming off the field to the rousing applause and approval of his fans and those who have traveled about 150 miles from Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico to make the trip and spend some time, watch their loved ones play. Now let's see who our new pitcher is. Tall young man, warming up here, tossing to the catcher De Los Santos, and we'll get a name for you. And although we don't have an official roster from them, we have an old roster, so we kind of winging it. So far, we winged it right. And Youngstown will have Ben Slanker come in, number 1. He is the center fielder. And Austin Henney, my mistake, Austin Henney was the one who was grabbing that gear from Jack Lute. So Slanker coming to the plate. Henney will be on deck with 2 outs, runner at third, and the score tied 4-4 here in the bottom of the 4th. Live action from Unitrade Stadium. Shout out to LISD for letting us use Veterans Field for the first 2 days.
87.
Veterans Field is the premier baseball facility for LISD. Laredo hosts a big tournament for the high school level folks at Border Olympics. At one time, Border Olympics had universities, track and field, golf. The likes of John Daly playing here. Johnny Ham Jones running for University of Texas. Coach, I think I just dated myself. And Slinker takes ball one.
Now,
2 outs.
Number 1, Ben Slanker.
Runner at third. New pitcher on the mound for Mexico. Delivers strike one. 1-1 the count. 86 miles an hour from the hurler.
Number 87.
Number 87, Francisco de la Rosa, the new relief pitcher. Strike two to Slinker, the center fielder.
90 miles an hour.
De La Rosa just tossed that one at 90. De La Rosa is coming in relief of Isaac Miranda. Low and outside for a 2-2 count. 1 run scored so far here in the top of the fourth. Tied the game 4-4. Runner at third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Francisco de la Rosa winds and foul ball by Slinker. Probably the 2 tallest players playing catch with each other here. The pitcher, Francisco de la Rosa, and Jorge de los Santos, 2 tall young men, hoping to close the door here on Youngstown tonight. Slinker at the plate, takes a high fastball for a full count. So full count, 2 outs, runner at third, and the score tied. And a full moon in the sky, so maybe a little drama coming later. Last night's game ending in dramatic fashion. Foul ball by Slinker, hanging in there. 89 mile an hour fastball that De La Rosa just tossed at him. Little Spanish music coming from our Doppler radar friends at Southern American. State-of-the-art Doppler providing us weather forecasts, weather updates, wind speeds. And Slinker is walking to first on a ball 4. And with runners on the corners here, 2 outs, Owen Henney, the shortstop, comes to the plate.
Now batting is number 8, Owen Henny.
The coach for the Mexican All-Star team here, giving some instruction to his outfielders. Strike 1 to Henney from De La Rosa. Double 8 on that one, Coach.
Yep.
He's got some heat coming.
He does.
Yeah, and like I said, he's a tall young man. Not quite sure what the ump saw flying through here, but said, hey, let's wait a second. Maybe Batman decided to drop in and watch the game. Number 8, Henney in the box. Runners on the corners. And he takes strike 2 from De La Rosa. That one approaching 90 miles an hour, 89 from the velocity meter here at Unitrade Stadium, home of the Tecolotes. And there goes the runner. Oh, and I'm not sure what he was thinking.
Does the run score?
And so I believe this run is going to score. Not quite sure what was going on in the mind of De La Rosa, the pitcher, when he decided to chase him and not just get him quickly, that allowed the runner to come in, touch the plate, while the action was still happening on the rundown between first and second. And so, with a little weirdness here in a full moon, the top of the fourth comes to an end with 2 runs scored. Youngstown 5, Mexico 4, and we'll be right back.
How did they get?
So we're back here at Unitrade Stadium for the bottom of the 4th inning. Youngstown, Ohio leading 5-4. Edgar Muredia, number 23, the second baseman at the plate, facing number 22, Keeun Baskerville. Excuse me. Baskerville coming in relief of Ryan Apoliski. Has a 1-1 count on Muredia. Keeun, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Maybe Ronnie Harper is out there listening and come out and give me a hand with that pronunciation. 2-1 the count. Last pitch by Baskerville, sailing over the head of the batter. 3-1 the count. Nobody out here, top of the, bottom of the 4th, with the leadoff batter Muredia now taking strike 2 from Baskerville. Full count. Nobody out. Muredia, the first batter here in the bottom of the 4th. Fly ball almost straight up. Cordero trying to get under it and catches it. Catches mitt. Right side up. On his knees and out, number 1. Cordero was able to get that with the lights right on him. Full moon in the background.
Now batting is number 25, Saul Lopez.
For out number 1, here at the bottom of the 4th, with Youngstown leading 5-4. And now number 25, the shortstop, Saul Lopez, at the plate, facing off against the reliever, Baskerville. High fly, foul ball, but it looks like it's playable, and sure is. Lute making the grab.
Now batting is number 12, Gael Zeddy.
In the cleanup spot, Gael Zeni, the designated hitter, steps into the batter's box to face off against Baskerville, who's come in relief of Apeliski. And that shot's into center field. Slanker
Under it.
is under it now. 1, 2, 3. Mexico out. Here in the bottom of the fourth, coming to the fifth inning. We'll be right back as we pay a few bills with our sponsors. Thank you for watching. Inning, Owen Henney at the plate, De La Rosa on the mound, and shout out to our friends from Youngstown, Ohio, who told me that the pitcher Baskerville's first name is Keon. Keon Baskerville. Thank you for that. Thank you for all of you joining us either on Facebook or LaredoPony.org. And for engaging with us, helping us out with the pronunciations. Looks like some jewelry
Yep.
on the pitcher, the reliever De La Rosa, who came in relief of Miranda. And that one is a ball. Leadoff batter Henney has one ball, no strikes. De La Rosa winds. And that's a strike. Henney not sure he wanted to go all the way around on it, but broke the plane, so 1-1 the count. Low, inside, 2-1 the count. Leadoff batter Owen Henney, the shortstop, sends one into left field, and the left fielder charges hard, gets it. Out number one for the inning. Number two coming to the plate, Gino Lazzari, the right fielder, facing off against the tall, fastball pitcher here, Jorge de los Santos. I'm sorry, Francisco de la Rosa. Boy, I'm getting a little tongue-tied here. Must be that full moon. Ooh! That one was a little chin music and it clipped him. So Lazzari heads off to first after being hit by a pitch. Putting a runner on at first with one out. Youngstown leading, and Cordero, Antonio Cordero, the catcher, at the plate. Swing and a miss, strike one. On deck, number 4, A.J. Capizzi. One runner on, one out here in the top of the 5th inning. Pony Palomino World Series Championship game. And the ball gets past the catcher, unable to get up and make the throw. And Lazari stands at second. Runner in scoring position. One out, 1-1 the count. Top of the 5th inning. Youngstown 5, Mexico 4. 0-2 the count to Cordero. High. Fly ball right there at first. And the first baseman able to get to it, Juan Quintanilla, to record the second out of the inning. With 2 outs and a runner at second.
Now batting is number 4, A.J. Capizzi.
A.J. Capizzi steps up to face off against De La Rosa, the reliever, here in the top of the 5th. Youngstown, 1-run lead over the Mexican team from Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico. De La Rosa not quite sure what's happening behind him, decides to step off and take a look. De La Rosa, tall fastball pitcher. Just throwing 88 miles an hour. Capizzi. We've got some spectators inside the center field restricted area by the 400-foot marker. Umpire saying, let's wait, let's get rid of them, let's move them. All right, so back to the action. Capizzi at the plate, De La Rosa on the mound, runner at second. 0-1 the count, 2 outs here. And that's 0-2. Breaking ball, 68 mile an hour. Capizzi wanting to take a shot at it, hesitated and didn't. And now the count is 0-2 with 2 outs and a runner on. And that one going back second base. And that ends the inning for Youngstown. Mexico coming to the plate here at the bottom of the 5th. Live from Unitrade Stadium in Laredo, Texas. Pony Palomino World Series action. Championship game between Youngstown, Ohio and Mexico. And we'll be right back after a few short messages from our sponsors.
Life is full of great moments, special moments, shared with friends, family, and loved ones. But for some, pain deprives us from fully enjoying these moments. If chronic pain is keeping you from fully enjoying life, there is hope. Hi, I'm Dr. Marta Martinez. At Advanced Spine Pain Solutions, we're dedicated to treating our patients with the most advanced and compassionate care possible. Visit us for an evaluation and let our experienced staff help you get back to living a pain-free life.
Back to Unitrade Stadium we go. Pony Palomino World Series action 2023 championship game here. on a hot Monday night in Laredo, Texas. Number 55, Jorge de los Santos, the catcher, at the plate. A bunt by de los Santos. And out at first. Keon Baskerville,
Now
the
batting
pitcher,
number 42, Hector Chacwas.
grabbing that, firing it over to first for out number 1. Hector Jaquez, the center fielder, now batting against Baskerville. Keon, thank you again to our friends in Youngstown for helping us with that. Strike 1 to Jaquez. Hector Jaquez playing center field. Drives one into center field, and Slanker's going to let that drop in front of him. Was charging. Thought better of it and said, let me just get this on a hop, keep him at first. 1 out, runner at first. Number 28, Alfredo Gonzalez, coming to the plate. Foul ball. Quintanilla with a single to center. Stands at first base. Alfredo Gonzalez at the plate with 1 out, 1 strike. His team trailing 5-4 here in the bottom of the 5th.
Alfredo Gonzalez.
Full moon rising here over Unitrade Stadium on a hot Monday night. High fastball. 2-1 the count, 1 out, runner at first. 5-4 the score. If you caught last night's game, high drama as Youngstown got into the championship game, swing and a miss by Gonzalez. Keon Baskerville in relief of the pitcher for Youngstown. And there goes the runner, safe at second. Nice throw by Cordero, not in time.
Whatever.
The ball got away from the pitcher.
And the runner stays at second. Cordero out of his stance and grabbing that ball before it gave the runner any ideas. At the plate, number 28, Gonzalez, the right fielder, gets walked to first. And so runners at second and first, 1 out. Number 2, Juan Quintanilla, coming to the plate.
Number 2, Juan Quintanilla.
Again, I'm operating without a official roster here, so I'll tell you who the runner is. Foul ball, that one coming over our heads. Number 42 is over at second base, and that's Jaquez, who flied into center field for a single. And now Gonzalez over at first, and Quintanilla, left-handed batter, at the plate. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Baskerville coming in relief of Ryan Apoliski, facing off against the left-handed Quintanilla.
Okay.
High foul ball here over the third baseline area, out of the field of play. Number 15, Sebastian Morales on deck. Quintanilla at the plate. Baskerville on the mound. 2 runners on, 1 out. 0-2 the count to Quintanilla. And that shot is in the shallow
Shortstop.
left field. Shortstop waves off the left fielder. Henny recording out number 2 for Youngstown here. And now number 17 for Mexico, Jorge Aranda, stepping to the plate.
Now batting is number 17, Jorge Aranda.
What was the umpire waiting on?
So runners at second and first, 2 outs. Aranda at the plate, Baskerville on the mound, and that shot is into second. Out at first. What an arm, what a throw by the second baseman who fired that into first base to get the runner. A.J. Capizzi with an exceptional defensive play to end the inning. And so we'll be right back for the top of the 6th. Palomino World Series championship game. The top of the order, Austin Lafferty at the plate, facing off against Francisco de la Rosa, pitching for the team from Mexico. Youngstown leading 5-4, top of the 6th. De la Rosa winds, swing and a miss by Lafferty, 1-1 the count. That one clocking in at 88. Speeds coming from the radar here at Unitrade. And our weather coming from the Laredo weather radar, courtesy of Southern American. Strike 2 to Lafferty. Winds gently blowing out of the east. Still at the century mark here at Laredo. And a check, swing 2-2, didn't go around. Umpire looking for a count here. We've got 2-2. Top of the order, leading off here in the 6th, Lafferty drives one into third base, line drive, and the third baseman stretched out, gets it. Out number 1. Exceptional play by Johan Lopez, the third baseman, to record the first out of the 6th inning. So like we said, top of the order, number 2 in that slot. A.J. Havrilla steps in and takes ball 1 from De La Rosa.
3, A.J. Havrilla.
Havrilla from the team here in Ohio just has had a great game, and that's another line shot over the third baseman, Johan Lopez's outstretched hand, and he's on base with a single to left field. That one shot off the bat, straight into left field.
Now hitting number 16, Jack Luke.
Sebastian Morales grabbing that, tossing it back into field of play. Jack Lute batting here. And that's a high fly ball deep in the center field. The center fielder on his horse getting there.
Wow.
And able to make the catch. That one looked like it kind of sailed a little bit towards the west as it got up there. And the center fielder making the adjustment for the wind, which I see has picked up a little bit. We've got that American flag out there in center left, waving briskly. Runner at first, 2 outs, top of the 6th inning. Number 7, the designated hitter, John Chalice. John Chalice at the plate.
Now batting number 7, John Chalice.
Facing off against Francisco de la Rosa. Low, ball 1. This is starting to look eerily familiar, as last night Youngstown and Laredo duked it out all the way through the 7th inning. Foul tip. 1-1 the count. Runner at first, 2 outs. Top of the 6th. 5-4 Youngstown. Chalice at the plate. Ben Slanker on deck. And a runner at first. Pony Palomino World Series action. Championship game between Mexico and Youngstown. Foul ball. Just outside the field of play. The game with Laredo and Youngstown that brought them here to the championship game ended in dramatic fashion with bases loaded, full count, 2 outs, and Jack Lute driving 3 runs to win the game for Youngstown. There goes the runner, and strike 3. John Chalice goes out swinging, and that ends the inning. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Youngstown 5, Mexico 4, and we'll be right back. Bottom of the 6th inning here at Unitrade Stadium. Johan Lopez, top of the order, leading off here in the bottom of the 6th for Mexico against Keon Baskerville. Takes ball 1. Balmy 95 degrees here, 52% humidity, and the wind's now picking up to 9 miles an hour with gusts in the teens. Might have an impact here as the game winds. 1-1 the count to Lopez. Baskerville fires strike 2. Here the leadoff batter, Lopez, a speedy runner, looking to get on. 2-2 the count, and tried to erase the deficit as they trail Youngstown here in the bottom of the 6th, 5-4. Foul ball. Unitrade Stadium, home of the Tecolotes Los Dos Laredos. If you get a chance, there's a Netflix documentary, Bad Hombres, talks about the team. Full count now, 3-2 to the batter, Lopez. Keon Baskerville trying to keep his team ahead of Mexico. Walks Lopez. Lopez, a speedy base runner, will look to advance.
Now batting is number 23, Edgar Moradia.
Number 23, Edgar Moreira. Number 4 spot, their second baseman, tries to bunt. Foul. 0-1 the count. No outs, runner on, bottom of the 6th. Youngstown 5, Mexico 4. Full moon in the sky. 95 degrees. Winds blowing out of the east at 9 miles an hour. And a duel here between Baskerville and the batter, Moreira. A bunt laid down nicely. Baskerville having a little hard time picking that up, manages to scoop it up, get it to first, and record out number 1, but not before the bunt by Moreira gets his teammate over to second. And so now we've got
Now
the
batting is
speedy
number 25, Saul Lopez.
Johan Lopez at second, and Saul Lopez, the shortstop, at the plate. Baskerville on the mound with 1 out and a runner on. And he fires strike 1 to Lopez. Youngstown sailing into the championship game in dramatic fashion last night. Foul ball, strike 2 to the batter Lopez. 1 out, runner on. Trying to hang on here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 more inning to go after this one as they chase championship dreams here in Laredo, Texas. And a grounder to short, picked up nicely by Henny. Henny to first, out. Number 2, Lopez scoots over to third. And now we've got number 12, the cleanup hitter in that 4th spot.
Number 12, Gael Zidi.
Gael Zenny. Gael Zenny, the DH, confidently strolling into the batter's box to face off against Keon Baskerville, who came in relief of Ryan Apaliski. Fires ball 1 at him. Zenny doing a great job in the DH slot all weekend long. Ryan Apaliski did a great job of keeping those bats silent, and now Baskerville trying to do the same. Mexico had not scored since that first inning. And that's swing and a miss for strike 1. The speedy Johan Lopez, the leadoff batter in the inning, top of the order, standing there at third, hoping to come in and cut the deficit. Zenny, swing and a miss with a tip. Strike 2. So with 2 outs, runner at third, 2-2 the count. Baskerville looks in. Zenny, the designated hitter, at the plate. And fly ball here at first base. First baseman trying to get under it. There it is. And that is out number 3. And the score remains 5-4 with one more inning to go. Youngstown 5, Mexico 4. Pony Palomino World Series Championship game. And we'll be right back. Ooh, the drama.
I guess the Monterey coach can speak English. That or umpire can speak.
Well enough to look over. Top of the 7th inning, last frame, Youngstown leading 5-4. Strike one, 1-1 the count to number 1, Ben Slanker, the center fielder. De La Rosa on the mound, trying to keep the score just as it is to give his team a chance. Almost hits Slanker. 2-1 the count. Slanker, the leadoff batter here in the 7th. On a warm, breezy Laredo night. Little off speed. 68 miles an hour, didn't get there. And it's 3-1 the count to Slanker. I think I saw maybe 2-2 from the ump there. We'll correct that when we get a chance here. That's inside, so now it's 3-2, full count. Every once in a while, the ump will give us a hand, or rather 2, and hold up those fingers for us to see. Foul tip. Slanker hanging in there. De La Rosa throwing in the high 80s. Slanker, the center fielder, having a good defensive game as well. Owen Henney on deck. And there goes Slanker to first base. Ball 4. So with one runner on in the top of the 7th, bottom of the order, Owen Henney batting in the 8th position. Comes to the plate to face off against De La Rosa with a runner on and no outs. Slim lead, 5-4 here in the last frame. And Henney with a nice bunt right down the first baseline, and that one just got by the pitcher as De La Rosa sailed it over his head. The right fielder unable to scoop that off the ground, And that bunt turns into a triple for Owen Henney, the shortstop, as Youngstown just added a run to its lead and put a runner at third with no outs, and Gino Lazzari walking up to the plate to see if he can add a little more. Coach, I told you there'd be a little drama here. That full moon here over the stadium here, no outs. And a swing and a miss by Lazzari. De La Rosa approaching that 90-mile-an-hour mark on that one. Has a runner at third, Henney, who just drove in a run with a bunt. And a few costly mistakes by the Mexican team here. And that's a strike. 0-2 the count with no outs. And a runner at third. Youngstown scoring one in this inning so far, 6-4 the lead over Mexico. Lazzari at the plate, the right fielder, facing off against De La Rosa, who just threw it in the dirt. De Los Santos, big-bodied catcher, made sure that didn't get past him. That could be costly. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. Lazzari at the plate, De La Rosa on the mound. Owen Henney standing at third, trying to get in and add some runs to the Youngstown lead. And a shot that's going to land right in front of the left fielder, and that's going to bring in another run. Owen Henney crossing the plate. Lazzari all pumped up at first, and rightfully so, as the lead grows from 5 to 7 now, 7-4. Youngstown with no outs and a runner at first, and the catcher,
Now we're hitting his number 20, Antonio Cordero.
Antonio Cordero, stepping into the batter's box to face off against De La Rosa with a runner on and no outs. That's low, ball 1. Starting to look a little like what last night did. But Youngstown, boy, they play great defense, great offense, and are well coached by Don Pletcher, the coach for Youngstown. Swing and a miss by Cordero, a little tip there. 1-1 the count. Had the pleasure of visiting with Ronnie Harper's dad last year. Saw him earlier in the stands. Saw him at Veterans. Was hoping to get a chance to visit with him up here in the booth. Last trip to Laredo with his team as his son is moving on. And for now, no outs here in the top of the 7th. Cordero at the plate with a runner on. Takes ball 2. Good folks over at Youngstown, Ohio, giving us some great feedback on our YouTube feed. This broadcast brought to you live by Southern Sanitation and our Doppler friends at Southern American. Live radar. And there goes a shot fair. It's in the field of play, rolling all the way to the edge of the turf there. And Cordero double moves Gino Lazzari to third. And there are no outs. 7-4 with runners in scoring position here in the top of the 7th. And the coach is coming out to have a conversation. He's making a change. He's had a rough go here in the last inning, and he's going to make a change and bring in, let's see if we get that number, De La Rosa, Smartin from the last couple of hits that have produced runs for Youngstown. Number 4, A.J. Capizzi will be coming to the plate here. And number 10, Karim Martinez. First time I see him on the mound here for Mexico. Again, I didn't call all the games, but called most of the games in the tournament. Those that were held at Veterans and here at Unit Trade. I missed the ones at one game at Kruger and 2 at the SAC, the Sports Activity or Student Activity Complex, UISD's premier facility. Pitcher changes are always hard to gauge as a broadcaster. We don't know how long this is going to last, so we're going to stay on, stay with you, especially because we've got some drama building here. But I can tell you a little bit about the Doppler radar here while we're on it. It is a privately owned Doppler radar system, state-of-the-art technology here in Laredo, covers a gap that has existed for so long. 2 radars, 150 miles in either direction. Because the curvature of the Earth wasn't able to give us the kind of coverage we needed, and this radar was purchased by a private individual and is now sharing all that data with our emergency management coordinator and others. And tonight was gracious enough to let us have it. So we'll get back to the action with the winds blowing out of the east. 95 degrees here on Monday night, 54% humidity, and action here at Unit Trade. Number 4 sends one right up the middle, and they're going to hold number 9, the courtesy runner, at third, but that scores one more run. 8-4 with no outs. Runners at the corner, top of the batting order. Coming to the plate, Austin Lafferty, the left fielder, with runs being scored. Karim Martinez now in relief of Francisco de la Rosa on the mound, trying to stem the tide. And that one goes right down the third baseline. That one's going to roll all the way to the left field fence. From what we can see here, our vantage point a little obscured, but that one rolled far enough to let another run score, and a double for Lafferty.
Now batting is A.J. Harila.
9-4, 5-run lead for Youngstown with no outs here in the top of the 7th, the last frame of the championship game. Karim Martinez now pitching for Mexico. Delivers strike 1 to A.J. Havrilla, the second man in the order, as Youngstown is bringing the top of the order to the plate here. Number 4, A.J. Capizzi standing on third. Austin Lafferty, who just rang a double down the third base line at second base. And Havrilla, the third baseman, at the plate. Karim Martinez now pitching for Mexico in relief of Francisco de la Rosa. Has one shot into center field. That's going to score another run. We're going to hold Lafferty at third. And the ball's still rolling around here. Runners on the corner. Havrilla single the center field. Bats in A.J. Capizzi and puts Lafferty at third, with last night's
Now getting his number 10, Austin Lafferty.
3-run triple hitting Jack Lute at the plate. Left-handed batter facing the right-handed Karim Martinez. Gives Lute strike 1. No outs here. 5 runs scored so far here in this top of the 7th. Runners at the corner and a foul ball by Luke. 0-2 the count. No outs. Runners at third and first. Live Pony Palomino championship game action here at Unitrade Stadium. And there goes the runner.
Better run
Oh,
back.
and he's got to head back in a hurry. Safe back at first. That high blooper right into shallow center. Second baseman able to get to it. And so that's the first out of the inning, with 5 runs being scored so far and runners at the corners. Lafferty at third, Havrilla over at first, and now John Chalice takes strike one.
No, he is number 7, John Chalice.
John Chalice is the catcher most of the time, but today he's a designated hitter. About 9:30 here at Unitrade Stadium on a warm Monday night in Laredo, Texas. County of Webb. Kareem Martinez on the mound. John Chalice at the plate with runners at the corners. And he gets strike 2 from Martinez, who is settling in, but has been rocked as well, as was his predecessor, Francisco de la Rosa. Runners at third and first. There goes the runner. And safe, and that ball gets past the second baseman, and that's going to score another run. Lafferty crossing the plate. It is now 11-4 with a runner at third. 1 out. And a little bit of a discussion, something going on here. Not sure what's happened. Oh, and he's just tossed the pitcher for saying something to the umpire. And not sure, maybe that's 2 that he's tossed. The pitcher, Martinez, Kareem Martinez, just ejected from the game, but I think he's ejected the first baseman as well. The first baseman, Quintanilla, walking off the field first. And the drama. Not what I was expecting, but the full moon giving way to a little high drama here in the top of the 7th inning on the Monday night here. Coach Nick, what do you think's happened here?
I don't know. They called 2 outs.
We've got an out, but they've tossed 2.
But
Yep.
now, the other team's on the field.
Now, something strange is certainly going on here.
I have no idea.
That full moon. Now, let's see if I can get some clarification as to what just happened.
Is it 3 outs? Bruce?
He said yes.
So we've got 3 outs. Here at the top of the 7th, mysteriously, 3 outs appear.
Now we go to the bottom of the 7th.
And so we go to the bottom of the 7th with Youngstown leading 11-4.
They're calling the game?
6 runs
No.
scored in the top of the 7th frame. What appeared to be 1 out and a runner at first and runner at third, all of a sudden turns into out number 3, and the pitcher Martinez being ejected. Quintanilla, the first baseman, walking first ahead of Martinez going into the dugout, and I'm confused. It all started without an official roster, I guess. And it ends
Now
with
hitting is number 55, Jorge de los Santos.
a mysterious out in the top of the seventh. And De Los Santos, the catcher for Mexico, takes one on the shoulder from Keon Baskerville. Now the coach over here trying to settle down one of his players, number 28, Alfredo Gonzalez. 42, Jaquez is the batter coming into the plate.
Now hitting is number 42, Hector
De Los Santos, hit by a pitch, goes off to first base, and tensions are high here in the bottom of the seventh in the World Series championship game. Pony Palomino, 18U. Stranger things have happened, but not much. Wow. I'm trying to figure this all out here. I have the umpire already warning the coaches. A player who was hopping mad, and 2 mystery outs that came out of nowhere to end the inning, just as Youngstown was laying it on. 11-4 here, top of the 7th inning. Live action brought to you by Southern Sanitation, handling the waste disposal needs for the city of Laredo and surrounding communities for almost 50 years. Our title sponsor. And we get a ball one from Baskerville to Jaquez. Runner at first, De Los Santos. Fly ball to right field. Out number 1. Recorded by Gino Lazzari, the right fielder. I promise, as soon as I know what went on and what happened, I will tell you.
Now hitting is number 33, Fernando Zuniga.
Fernando Zuniga coming to the plate with runner at first, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, last half of the frame, and that's a shot over to right field. Right fielder Lazzari
Manolo, you still stadium?
on his speedy golf cart, getting over to pick that up, and that's out number 2. I've got Coach Nick next to me here.
We have something going on here, we can't figure it out.
I'm trying to
It's now 11-4.
figure out what went on, and we'll give you the update first chance we get.
No.
Number 14 at the plate, Jose Maria Hernandez.
Jose Hernandez.
I apologize for the extra background, but we're trying to find out what's going on here.
They call the inning.
Jose Maria Hernandez, fly ball foul, just out of the playing field. We have a runner at first, 2 outs, 0-1 the count in this crazy 7th inning with a full moon just outside my window. Keon Baskerville on the mound. Jose Maria Hernandez at the plate takes strike 2. And so maybe the last strike of the game here. 0-2 the count, 2 outs, runner on. Bottom of the 7th, 11-4 Youngstown. And that is low. Ball 1, 1-2 the count. Tempers flared here in the bottom of the middle of the 7th, somewhere. Foul ball, something said. And Youngstown, who had just put a runner on with 1 out, suddenly 2 outs appear, ends that half of the inning. And now we have Jose Maria Hernandez trying to keep his team's dreams alive, trailing by 7 runs here at the bottom of the 7th with a runner on. Sebastian Morales on deck, and a mystery still to be solved. Keon Baskerville on the mound, facing Jose Maria Hernandez with 2 outs. gets one to fall into right field. Lazari there to pick it up. So 2 runners on now, 2 outs. Runners at second and first. And Sebastian Morales, the left-handed left fielder, coming to the plate. And those of you watching from afar, the mystery continues. We will try to tell you what happened, bring a little closure to this. On deck, Johan Lopez, the top of the order. Strike 1, swing and a miss by Sebastian Morales, the left fielder. Keon Baskerville trying to close the door, end the night. Foul ball. 0-2 the count. With runners at second and first. Mexico now trailing by 7. Morales at the plate. Baskerville on the mound. And hopes of a championship fading fast. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's the ball game. Youngstown wins the championship. Big celebration here at the mound. Heartbreak here right in front of us.
To Youngstown, Ohio.
As Youngstown, Ohio wins the 2023 Pony Palomino World Series here in Laredo, Texas, in the oddest of fashion, with a lot of drama last night and something of a mystery here tonight. Congratulations to Youngstown, Ohio. We're going to stay on and continue to broadcast a little bit. I know typically they have a ceremony, and so they may ask us to keep broadcasting that for you. My producer and director to the left of me here saying, yeah, we're on. So we'll keep the cameras rolling, everyone, as the traditional congratulatory handshakes continue as the World Series champs in Youngstown, Ohio, congratulates and thanks their opponent. Good sportsmanship returning to the field after a mysterious middle of the 7th. The Youngstown, Ohio team winning the championship here in Laredo, Texas, 2023, sorry. I've jumped out a whole year ahead. Maybe that moon is doing something to all of us. Congratulations, Youngstown. Mr. Harper, if you're out there, congratulations to you. And we'll continue to broadcast here.
Hey, Nick.
We're going to take just a few minutes to run a few commercials, see if I can bring you the story of what happened in the middle of the 7th.
5? 4. Oh.
And that is the game, so stay with us. Don't go away. We'll give you the story as soon as we're done here. Years, Southern Sanitation has been managing the waste disposal needs of the city of Laredo and the surrounding communities, doing its part in helping keep the community clean. Call Southern Sanitation at 956-723-3333 and let us help you manage all your waste disposal needs. Southern Sanitation, part of your everyday. Big round of applause.
So you can watch the award ceremonies.
As we make the
Presentations. The tournament director, I'm going to hand over the mic to him so that he can start this.
All right, thank y'all guys very much for showing up. First time my name is David Bodan. I'm the tournament director for the Palomino World Series. Again, it's been a fantastic week. We started 3 or 4 days ago with the hot weather. But this season is yours. We played an exceptionally good ball game. We've seen from day one all the way to the end of the tournament here. First of all, just to let you know, these players have come a long way, okay, to play in the World Series. A lot of these teams played 3 or 4 tournaments before they even got here. So they didn't just come out here because they paid to come and play in the World Series. They earned the right. And 3 things happened for them to earn that. The first one is each player in each of these teams played individually.
Am I focusing on this guy super close or am I still wide? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go bring up the coach. This one only has 35.
They did a great job. Overall, thank you guys. Overall, okay, as I tell all the youth out here, no matter if they're 4 years old or they're 19 years old, okay, all of them, some are still in high school, some are graduating this season, some are going to college, some are about here to get a new job, to start your career. I do ask them, when they're going to school, to make the best at school, because that's what's going to get paid. Playing baseball is a great opportunity, okay, it's good for the sport, but in real life,
Okay, so I'm gonna need you to go get back down. You go back down. This is for the mic that is on the. Oh.
Primeramente, un fuerte aplauso para nuestros héroes, nuestros jugadores del equipo de México. Gracias, felicidades. Fuerte equipo. Aquí estaremos nuestros amigos de Monterrey, Nuevo León, México. First presentation, medal goes to Johan Lopez. Edgar Uraida. Saúl López. Gael Zeni. Daniel Garza.
Just do a wide track for them and I'll get closer to them. So they'll have to hold it or you can do something weird.
Jorge de los Santos. Alfredo González.
Yeah, Brian.
Héctor Jacques. Perdón, Jaques. Los Isan Miranda. Fernando Zúñiga. Jorge Aranda. Karim Martínez. Francisco de la Rosa. José María Hernández.
The one that's facing the group, and I take the tighter shot. I take the jackery and I go
El gerente,
around.
manager José Cavazos.
Just because we're facing away, we have our backs the whole time.
Coach Jesus Bernal. Gerente de negocios, business manager Edgar Murayra.
Executive decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, your runners-up for the 2023 Pony Palomino World Series, Mexico. Castile. Joey Perry. Ron Harper. Keon Baskerville. Jacob McGuire. And your coach, Don Fletcher. Luke McCoy. And now your coach, Don Fletcher. Bill McCartney. for the 2023 Pony Palomino World Series. And now a couple special presentations for the 2023 Pony Palomino World Series. Your batting champ, Owen Henny, 750. Congratulations, Owen Henny, your batting champion for the 2023 Pony Palomino World Series. And now, your ERA champ, Keon Baskerville, .000. Your ERA champ, Keon Baskerville. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the 2023 Pony Palomino World Series, live from Laredo, Texas, Unitrade Stadium. Come back and see us next year. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I will have the scoreboard on for another 5 more minutes for pictures. 5 more minutes for the scoreboard to stay on.
Yo no me en medio, o sea.